I'm going to record this, but I noticed I don't have any battery power, so that won't work. Called long-term planning. All right, welcome to the University of Houston, Hilton College annual alumni board meeting. That's a big mouthful, isn't it? We're so glad you're here, and official business-wise, I'm calling the July 22nd, 2015 alumni board meeting to order at 6:17 p.m. This is just normal business. I should note that minutes for the last meeting, May 15th, 2015, were approved unanimously via email with our board. So that's order of business that we usually do at our board meeting, so we want to do that. All right. I'm Randy McCaslin. I think I know most of you. I am the current president and outgoing president of the alumni board as of today. I'm happy to pass the baton. I've been president for the last 3 years. We have a short program, so we're going to get through this program and get on to drinks and appetizers, which we do so well. That's what hospitality is all about, right? And so just a few things. I just wanted to talk a little bit about just briefly about my tenure as president, as I'm going out after 3 years. You know, we did a lot as a board, but I think there's 3 things that stand out in my mind that we accomplished that I'm very proud of. The first is that we transitioned. When I joined the board, we were a active decision-making, monthly meeting kind of board, and we were told you're going to be now an advisory board meeting quarterly. We hired Wendy, so we had a director. Things were changing. So we inherited that, and so we made that transition by creating new goals and objectives and creating a job description for the alumni board, the new role that we were playing. And I think we did a pretty good job over this 3-year period of kind of determining what that is, and our meetings became more and more meaningful, and I think we had a lot more interchange and dialogue and did what we were really charged to do. So really proud of that. But the second and most momentous thing that we accomplished is bringing back the Alumni Awards. That was the one thing that we had to accomplish, I thought. You know, I'm an honorary alum. I would not be standing up here today if it was not for the Alumni Awards. So that is something that really went really well. We had our first Alumni Awards, as I think a lot of you attended. And it was very successful, and we want to thank Carol and her team for pulling that off so well. But that's one of our biggest accomplishments, I think, during this last 3-year period. And lastly, thanks to our wonderful alumni director, Wendy Ballard, we are expanding our board. Wendy wisely orchestrated focus groups for all the different decades, and from that, you're going to be introduced to our 9 new board members today. That's amazing. You know, how hard it's been to just find a board member, to have 9 new board members coming in with enthusiasm and energy and excitement about the college. This is a good time, and so thanks to Wendy for her efforts in doing those focus groups and inspiring people to want to be on our board. And so we're excited, and I can't wait. It's been a fun 3 years, and I look forward to seeing what this new, energetic board will accomplish. So that's my spiel on that. I'm not sure if all of you know that we have a bit of an advantage when it comes to the U of H Alumni Association. We have kind of an inside track. Did you know that? Yes. One of our very own, Mike Paday, is the president. One of our graduates is the president of the University of Houston Alumni Association. So we have a kind of an inside track there, don't we, Mike? So Mike is here today and I'd like to say a few words and help me welcome Mike Paday. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm not sure I need this microphone, those of you who know me long enough. Can we put Michael's slide back up for a second? I need a picture on the beach. Have you noticed this picture of Michael's? When he gets back up here, you'll be distracted. Michael's on the beach somewhere with his tie undone, the ocean behind. Is that where business is done? Because wherever you're conducting business, that's where I need to go, to that place. So thank you for your time. I won't take too much of it. I'll try and leave a couple spots for questions at the end because there's a lot of things going on. First, I want to say congratulations to the new board members. There's a lot of things going on at the University of Houston, and we're excited about your time, your offer of service. no good deed goes unpunished, so welcome to the board, and you'll have a wonderful time engaging with this group. Has it come back up yet?
No.
The Hilton County, everyone's looking for it now. Nobody's paying attention to a word I'm saying, Dean. Not a word I'm saying, because they're waiting for Michael's picture to come up. Wait till you see how relaxed he is. He hasn't taken over yet, that's why. So, give you a few factoids about the University of Houston and where we are. I know I have not gotten a chance to address this group too many times in the past couple of years, but we want to get very engaged. This is one of the groups that when I first came on board in 2010 was in that transition that Randy mentioned, and they were talking about what are we going to do, and there had been a golf tournament, been some other things that were going on. It wasn't very active, and board members had been falling off or not being engaged, and I said, you know, we need to talk to the dean, and Dean Bone and I met, and he said, you know, we really need that mindset and that mental inventory of what they think is important, and let's make them in a more advisory role until we can get REBAC on our feet, and the Alumni Association can get on more firm feet. Many of you know that the Alumni Association has undergone a transition in the last 2 years, and we are now a non-membership, non-annual membership, non-dues paying Alumni Association. We also used to be a wholly separate 501c3 from the University of Houston, and we now are integrated in with the university. So we have the 501c3 that still exists and all the scholarships that are in it, and we also work with the university hand in hand. That has made this job, there it is, look at him. Is that the best? He's like, yeah, whatever, somebody take my picture. Now you're distracted the rest of it. I've lost you. See, Patty, I've lost them already. So I have two Patties in here that are both sworn to secrecy about my college years at the University of Houston. They're both sitting over here. Patty's over here, Patty's over here. We went to school and I think have the same grad years all the way around. So, you know, we had a great time at the university, and I have a deep-seated gratitude for the Hilton College. I treat the commencements different when we graduate. I get that very cult following when I say, I usually go into most commencements and I say, my name is Mike Paday, I'm a 1989 graduate of the University of Houston, and I get a little clap, welcome. But when it's Hilton's turn, I shamelessly get up there. The president now waits for it. I say, I'm a 1989 graduate of the Conrad Hilton College of Hotel Restaurant Management. Before I'm done, the scream has started from the Hilton College students. So we want to make this go. We're here. I've met with Mike and Randy together. We want to make this the most vibrant alumni board that we have. Now, it's very in an advisory board situation now. I want you to think how you can take those alumni awards and take it to the next level. There's not a lot of things that you have to do, but if you have one signature event a year and you make it dynamite, that's the only thing you have to do. Our job now that we're out of the annual membership program, is to engage alums. Okay? Your job as a board is to engage as many alums as you can in a relevant way. It can be in career services, it can be in the mentoring world, it can be lecturing a class, it can be talking at one of our graduations, it can be coming out and doing tailgate parties at the games, any number of these things. Wendy and I work hand in hand on a lot of things that we're doing. We want to pass that along to you, take your ideas, and run with those. Couple of facts about the university, just so you have them, right? There are over 250,000 graduates of the University of Houston now, all time. 230,000 of those are alive, 175,000 live in the state of Texas, and 153,000 graduates live in the greater Houston area. A very powerful fact is that 1 out of every 6 college graduates in the city of Houston is a University of Houston graduate. Most people don't know that. It's really a powerful number. Obviously, the Hilton College numbers are obviously a smaller percentage of that, but they're everywhere. Our most diverse group of graduates is in Bauer College and the Hilton College. They're everywhere. I wear my pin on my jacket when I walk into every hotel in this country, and I have yet to fail to meet a University of Houston Hilton College graduate in one of those places. I was in Chicago a couple weeks ago for a conference, and we were staying at the big Marriott conference place that's downtown, and there were two of our graduates working in there. One was the assistant general manager. One happened to be doing the planning for the conference itself, conference manager. And then we went to Harry Carey's for dinner, and let's just say my bill was not existent when it was over, because one of our graduates was working a summer job there while he's, not one of our graduates, one of our students was working a summer job there while he's coming here. So he saw my pin on, we had a little chat, and I was eating on the house. So, they're everywhere. And I tell our folks all the time, if you wear your red, wear your pin, walk around this city, you will run into a University of Houston graduate. Do not be shy. Put your cougar paw in the air. I get go Cougs in the airport all the time, right? We have a couple programs to pay attention to, right, that are kind of out there. How many of you have been driving down the Southwest Freeway and see our huge flag? Have you seen our huge flag on the Southwest Freeway? That's part of our program that's called Crank It Up Cougs. If anybody owns a business or has a business that wants to fly one of our flags in front of your business and you have a flagpole, we will keep you in flags for as long as you want a flag. So we will give you a flag, you fly it all day, take pictures, we'll put it up on social media. That flag gets torn some way, you let us know, we'll give you another flag. Right now there are 75 flags around the city. That's our most obvious flag. It's pretty hard to miss. It is 40 by 60. There's one, my favorite one, if you've been on I-10 in Shepherd. There's one on I-10 in Shepherd, like north of the Spaghetti Warehouse when you get to the freeway. It's fairly large, kind of goes up and down because they also have a Marine Corps flag and some other, but it goes up and down. Well, now this little tiny Texas Longhorn flag has showed up next to it. It's about this big. They're trying to keep pace. It's the tiniest little sad thing I've ever seen, so it's perfect. Couple of events we have coming up in the fall. As you know, football season is coming. We hope you'll be in. Hilton has always had a great tailgate. I know it's kind of a homegrown tailgate, so I hope you guys will be involved in that. We are moving our party in the plaza and our whole tailgating area to right up against the stadium. So we will be on the grass plot right outside of Gate 1, which is called Legends Plaza. So it's still party on the plaza. If you have a good arm, you can throw a football inside the stadium from where we will be. That's how close we will be. So I hope you'll be out there a lot. Homecoming is the week of November 1st through the 7th. Our annual golf tournament will be on the 4th, Wednesday the 4th, and we have changed the format of that golf tournament, and this board will be receiving playing spots in that tournament at no cost. So I hope you have some golfers in there because we're going to be completely changing the way it's going to be more of a stewardship golf tournament than it's going to be a pay-to-play, and we're going to give 2 teams to all of our boards for our alumni groups to bring your boards and maybe potential board members out. So mark that day down. Cougar 100. Everybody heard of Cougar 100? So Cougar 100 is our program that we put together with the Houston Business Journal that rates the top 100 fastest growing University of Houston owned businesses in the country. There are over 3,500 businesses in the greater Houston area that are owned by University of Houston graduates, and over 1,600 of our graduates identify themselves in our system as president, owner, CEO, or C-suite. So we have a significant number of business folks, and the Cougar 100 recognizes them. And we have the Kaplans are here, Massad's Kaplans. They're in the Cougar 100, and I don't want to say the spot, but they're in the Cougar 100 as one of our fastest growing businesses. So congratulations to you. And we had 6 Hilton College grads in the Cougar 100. So we're proud of that. So that's October 27th. You'll see that information. And the last 2 things I want to leave you with, and then see if you have a question. We have an annual report coming out. It's a 60-page book. You'll see all the information you wanted. We're doing it a little bit different. It comes out the first week in September, and it'll be a yearbook to carry you all the way through. Now, the important part about that is anything that this board or this group is going to do in the course of the year should be in that book. There's a year-long calendar that every alum will be able to take, put in their coffee table, leave there, and pick it up and say what's going on in August, pull up August and see what's going on all the way through the year. So we're going to get way out in front of that. We're mailing that in print to about 70,000 alums. We're sending it out digitally to everyone else that we have an email address for. We have 230,000 living alumni. We have 164,000 email addresses. So if you don't have your data updated, I'm sure you do, or you wouldn't be here, you wouldn't have gotten this information, but there's many who don't. My challenge is always, when I first took this position 5 years ago, I challenged myself to sit down and say, well, you know, Mike, how many people really aren't engaged that are U of H alums? How many do you know? So I sat down, I took out my phone, I pushed the contact button, and I stopped at 89. When I wrote down 89 people in my own contact list that were U of H alums that I knew were not engaged, I knew we had a problem. I know every one of you has 5. So what I'm asking you to do in the course of time is find those 5 and engage them. Bring them to a tailgate party, bring them to the golf tournament, bring them to this meeting, bring them on campus. I'm sure that Wendy and whoever else will give them a tour of this facility. I talked to the dean today on the phone. He strikes me as someone who will meet anybody, anytime, anywhere, on any stairwell, in any room, at any moment, right? So please engage them. And the second part is a survey. For the first time in 22 years, the University of Houston is going to survey every alum about their experience at the University of Houston. How was it? What was memorable? What do you want to see? Where's our programming going to go? Please fill out that survey. I took it today with, as enthusiastic as I can be. It took me 8 minutes. It shouldn't take you more than 10. It really shouldn't. It's a very simple checkbox. But please take that survey. It's very important that you take it and give us the feedback, because we're basing all of our programming on that feedback. Okay? So that's all I have for today. I want to congratulate you on your service and your time. Congratulations. I saw how readily, enthusiastically you handed that over. I want to welcome you, Mike, into your group, and welcome all the new board members. I do want to have Patty Godfrey, please stand up. Patty is one of our graduates. She's on the board of the Alumni Association proper, the big board, and she represents all Hilton College. Trust me, she represents the Hilton College very nicely. So thank you, Patty, for your service. And so if there's anybody has any questions, I'm around all the time. You can find me anywhere. If you have a comment or something that you think we ought to be doing, or someone that ought to be connected, you just shoot me an email and I will find that person. I spend a lot of time in Eric's having lunch with folks and reconnecting. My job is to reconnect. You'll be amazed at the stories that you hear when people reconnect. And I'll leave you with one last story that I told the dean earlier today that's been impactful, right? So I lecture Hilton College students every now and then. I get asked to come in and guest lecture. This happened to be an event hospitality class. And there's 75 students. It wasn't in this room this time, but in another room. And I said, you think you're networking. How long have you been in this class? 6 weeks. You've been sitting there. Yes, sir. Have you met her? No. Have you met him? No. Have you met her? No. So I said, how do you know she's not the heir to the Fontainebleau hotel chain? How do you know he's not going to be running the House of Blues on top of the Mandalay Bay Hotel? How do you know she's not going to be the vice president of Hilton Hotels? Freshman year, first class. Well, I don't. I said, so you don't know who's sitting around you at any given moment. And alums are the same way. You have no idea. So I said, here's what I want you to do. I want you to all get up. I'm just telling you the example. Please don't. I want you to all get up and move around and meet 2 more people that you haven't met before. So we come back 5 minutes later, and the young lady that's sitting right there where you're sitting is in tears. I said, why are you crying? She said, well, we moved around, and I sat next to, I think her name was Tanya. I could be mistaken. I sat next to Tanya. And I'm a single mom. I came back to school because my husband left. I have 1 daughter. I decided I was going to finish my degree, so I came back, but I've been looking for a job. I haven't found one. We moved around, and I sat next to Tanya, who works at the Houstonian Hotel, and she just hired me. Right? And my point was, in that world, I explained to the students, you might have been, because I was sitting next to the heir to the Fontainebleau Hotel, first class, first day, first class. Fontainebleau Hotel, House of Blues on top of the Mandalay Bay, and the vice president for Hilton Hotels. First class. So if you think you're not in a rut at 20 years old, go home and try and brush your teeth with your other hand. Try not to hurt yourself, okay? Because that's our world. Alums are the same way. Are you meeting someone new? Are you mixing it up? Have you taken the chance to get out of this meeting? And I always try and come in here and say hello as quickly as I can to the 2 or 3 people that I know, and then go to others that I don't, right? And I love meetings that I don't know all the faces. I challenge you to do the same thing in your world. Invite people to our stuff. You get them back on this campus now. 1, they won't recognize it, right? They won't recognize it. Like, what is this? 2, it's the most unbelievable place right now. Our perception is so high. The pride is off the charts. And the last thing I will leave you as a little arm for your Longhorn friends is, for years, everyone in here, I'm looking around, most everyone in here was tagged with you go to a commuter school, right? Everyone in here pretty much tagged with you go to the commuter school? Well, let me give you a little factoid. You're labeled a residential university when more than 25% of your undergraduate population lives on campus. The University of Houston has 8,008 beds on campus, 32,000 undergrads. By definition, the state of Texas, the University of Houston is a residential campus. Okay? No more commuter school. Use it. Now, as a factoid, only Texas A&M has more students living on campus in the state of Texas than U of H. And by definition, the University of Texas is a commuter school. Okay? So I leave you with that little fact to give your Longhorn friends when you get the chance. So, anybody have any questions? Thank you for your time. Go Cougs. Oh, almost forgot. See, I was supposed to give away these 3 prizes. I bought 3 prize bags. They have basic stuff in there. There's a commemorative coin from the first game at TDECU Stadium. There's a head cover, and there's a bunch of stuff. So, Dale Hendry. These were drawn out randomly. Dale, welcome. Congratulations. You can grab one of those. Natalie Poole. Oh, way to go, Natalie. And Yu Lu. Yu Lu? Yeah, there we go. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mike. Well, that reminded me of another thing that we accomplished in the last 3 years, is that I think it was Wendy's idea, we actually opened up the alumni socials to students. Made them student alumni mixers. And what that has to do with what he said was that, and that really has created an environment where the students can come and talk to alumni, you know, basically job interview as you're drinking your glass of wine, and really learn from people in the industry. And so that's been one of the things that we started in just the last few years that I think has been a real good success. So now our socials are, you know, 70, 80 people coming to some of these things we do. Okay, next on the agenda, very important. I'm honored to have the opportunity to introduce you to our new dean.
Thank you, Randy. I'm honored to be here. So, I've heard a good story about wearing Cougar gear all over the world and you get honored and you get recognized. So I interviewed in October. Negotiations didn't happen until December. But when I was here, I went over to the little bookstore. And I didn't want to jinx it, so I didn't buy myself anything. But I bought my 2 teenage girls and my wife as many Cougar U of H things that I could find. And so by Christmas, that's when they got Christmas presents. And then we went on our little winter vacation. And we traveled to quite a few cities, and I could not believe how many people stopped us. Oh, you're from U of H? And they were so excited. And then finally someone came up to me and said, oh, did you go there? Crap, what do you say? And so, kind of panicked when I said, no, I couldn't get in. Yeah, I understand, yeah. So it's pretty fun. So I wanted to start off with a quick question. Who is the most recent graduate in here? What year? 2014, and you're already part of the Alumni Association? When I was sitting in the back, I was trying to figure out how do I phrase this. I don't want to say who's the oldest alum in here. Who's the least recent?
75.
Okay, I had a feeling it was going to be Dale, but I wanted to call him out. All right, and you're not even living in Houston.
That's right.
Well, thanks for being here. So I've been here for 3 weeks. Yeah, to the day. I flew in with my family the same night as Tropical Storm Bill, which was kind of fun because we're listening to the news and like, oh, Houston's going to be underwater, the whole city is going to get washed away, and we're like, great. And our house is being built right now. And it worked out fine. We got here, Tropical Storm Bill wasn't that big of a deal, but it was kind of fun because all my former colleagues were shooting me texts and emails. Ah, this is an omen. You shouldn't have left us. Kind of fun. But it's been amazing. The welcoming from the faculty, the staff, the hotel staff. It's been phenomenal. And the restaurants in Houston, not too shabby. So I've been living in college towns for the last 25 years where when you got a new restaurant, everyone got really excited. And here, I mean, we went to an Ethiopian fusion restaurant. What the hell is an Ethiopian fusion restaurant? I mean, it was great. It was just phenomenal. So we've been very busy, thanks to my faithful staff. I was in San Antonio last week at the satellite campus. Everybody knows we have a satellite campus in San Antonio?
Yes.
Good. I met some people in San Antonio and they didn't know. Hey, got to work on that. The building's coming along. It looks great. I'll be in Orlando next week at our international conference for hospitality academics, and we're taking 7 faculty with us. 8? Just lie to me. It doesn't matter. I don't know what I don't know. That's okay. 7 or 8 faculty.
30. All of us are going.
It's kind of exciting to have that kind of representation. In September, a couple of us are going to Switzerland to launch our International Masters. So that's going to be nice to kick that off for the first time. I mean, there's so many things that we're doing, so many moving parts. It's amazing. And I credit Dean Bowen for all of it. He built an amazing program. And as I said to John the other day, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for John Bowen. I mean, he elevated the program. And now my job is to take it up just one more notch. But I couldn't have done it without him. So it's pretty exciting. And you know, everyone says don't take over after a strong leader because it's easier to fail. Kind of true. But on the other hand, if you take over from a strong leader, you kind of got the momentum with you. And the faculty are definitely there. We had our first meeting for our brand new executive masters that will be online and that we will launch next fall. And the faculty in the room were so energized. And many of you don't understand because you work in the real world where you go to work every day during the summer. Well, faculty, not so much. You know, it's summer. I mean, I tease Jay. It's like you're tenured and you have a tie on and it's July. what's the matter? But everyone showed up for the meeting yesterday, and it was really productive. So you're going to see a lot of fun things. We want a lot of things to share, and we want to engage with you. You guys are, so you were the best and the brightest back in the day.
Yeah.
Come on, go with me. Yeah. So I used to do this little experiment for an organizational behavior class, and I'd give the entire class a management acumen test. This was going to decide if you were going to be a good manager. So they took the test, and then they went home. And in the next lecture, we'd bring them back and said, we've graded the test. Some of you didn't do so well. So we're going to divide the class in half, and the dumb ones are going to stay with me, and the smart ones are going to go with the teaching assistant to another room, and we're going to do some more exercises. And it really was a very impactful lesson, because did we grade the test? No. Was it really an assessment of your management skills? No. It was just a brain teaser. But it was fascinating to see the students in the room sit there and go, oh yeah, that makes sense, I'm not too bright. That's not the message here. And then the ones that went into the smart group, they come back in, oh yeah, not all that. And I learned the hard way when I did this the very first time. I did it with the class, and then we broke them into the dumb and smart half, and then we didn't debrief right after, so then they went home. And then the next lecture, I'm a little slow, so it took me a while to figure this out. So the next lecture, I get them all back together, and I said, okay, I want you all to know that that was just an example of the effect that you have on your subordinates. That if you tell someone they're stupid enough, just like a parent to a child, it's going to start to click. And you can't do that, not even once. And it's your job as a manager, as a leader, to inspire people, not to bring them down. And after the lecture, this young man comes down, he goes, you have no idea what that did to me. He was on the crew team. He went to crew practice. He did the worst time of his career. He was a transfer student, and this wasn't here, this was another university. Called his parents, said, I don't think I'm cut out for college. He started packing his stuff, and then sat in my lecture. And to this day, we're friends. He graduated with a 4.0 and is now a trader on Wall Street, doing quite well for himself. We ran into each other in Shanghai, and he emailed me and he said, oh, you want to get together? I said, no, I'll be in China. He said, really? Me too. And this is right after graduation. So we met at the JW Marriott in Shanghai, and he said, that turned my life around. He said, I'll never forget that. And I said, okay, but why are you in Shanghai? He said, you know, my buddy and I were sitting around drinking beer one night, and we said, let's go learn Mandarin. I'm like, do you need to learn Mandarin to work for Lehman Brothers? No. Seemed like a good idea at the time, though. So, of course, I took him to the JW Marriott, which is the only hotel in Shanghai that has the bottomless martinis from 4 to 7, Monday through Friday. So, when I got back, he emailed me and said, the two most important things you taught me, always be positive and always go to the JW Marriott from 4 to 7 on Monday through Friday. Anyway, I am so glad to be here. I've met many of you, and I want to get to know all of you, because you are our future, our past. We have a very bright future in front of us. So thank you.
All right, in with the new, right? All right, I now have the distinct honor of introducing you to your next president of the Alumni Board, Mike Alcorn. Mike is a 2008, he's the guy in the relaxed picture up here. Mike is a 2008 graduate of the Hilton College. He served as Director of Service for the 2008 Gourmet Night and was a TA for Mary Dawson in his senior year. During his career, Mike has worked for Cheesecake Factory, Four Seasons Hotel, and he's even owned his own restaurant in the Heights. He is currently in industrial sales with Distribution International. Mike has served on the Hilton College Alumni Board for almost 3 years, but his most important and most enduring qualities is that he's the happy husband of Pam and the proud father of Luke Maverick Alcorn, who was born on May 28th. So help me welcome President Michael Alcorn.
That's what did it, the kid, right? Before we move along, I did want to first thank everyone for being here. This is great. I appreciate everyone taking the time on a Wednesday to come out here and spend time with us. So I would like to introduce the board, though. So if I could have the board introduce themselves. You're the graduated, and Wendy said fun fact, but some people said they didn't want to have a fun fact. So if you don't have a fun fact, that's okay.
So we can't have a fun
You
fact?
can if you want to. If you work tirelessly on your fun fact, well, then you can go ahead and say what that is. So I'll tell you what, I will start over there, and we can kind of like sweep the room. There you go. Yep.
I'm Helen Barrera. What is the year? 96. No fun fact.
Helen's not fun today.
No,
That's
I
okay.
don't know. I'm a fun person.
I'm Jessica Houghton, class 2011 and 2013, and I do have a fun fact. I own a potbelly pig, and so there's my fun fact.
Hi, Lisa Castellano. I'm an 06 graduate. I work for Blooming Brands and Talent Acquisitions, and I don't have a fun fact.
That's okay too.
I'm Ricky Girardi, class of 2010. My fun fact, I own and collect, I have over 160 board games from around the world.
Nice.
I'm Megan Pezzi, 08, and I once won 12 grand playing blackjack in one night.
How much do you lose?
$200.
Wasn't that at Hilton College?
Fun fact about who's covered the chat there. It's that was.
I'm Margo Kaplan. I'm a 2003 grad. I work for American Liberty Hospitality here in Houston. And a fun fact, the Hilton College has taken me to New York twice with Patty Baxter.
Now we're talking about the crash.
Carol White, I'm an honorary alum from AP. And I guess my fun fact is I've been on the board longer than any other.
I'm Daniel Moreno.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I apologize.
Graduated in 2003. I'm the general manager of the Petroleum Club of Houston. I don't really have a fun fact, but I don't think
It's okay. Jeff?
I'm Jeff Binford, class from the late 70s. We'll call it 79. I think I'm the only person from out of town. Is that still true?
No.
On the board?
Oh, on the board.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
I don't think that's true.
I live in Dallas and enjoy coming down. Enjoy coming down here. My fun fact is a brag in that last year I entered and won a red ribbon at the State Fair of Texas for my culinary skills in barbecue sauce. I interviewed this year to see if it was a fluke or if it was really good.
I'm Noel Stallmaker. I graduated in 75.
It's all right.
It's all right.
Patty?
Oh, hi, I'm Patty.
I missed you.
I'm Patty Sepulveda, and that picture is horrible. And it's an old,
Thank God it's not just
the
mine.
title. No, mine didn't have the beach background.
Okay, so it is still just mine.
But I most recently was Director of Operations and Business Development for a web-based company, but right now I'm in marketing and real estate as well. I forgot about fun facts, but I was told that if I signed on to the board, that I would go to Switzerland as a board representative.
I thought that was all of us.
You know who I am.
Randy McCaslin, we all know who he is.
Yeah.
So right now I'd like to get Carol to come up and talk to us a little bit about the alumni wall.
Well, as Randy told you, we finally got the Alumni Awards off and running again this year. It's been a long time coming, but it got accomplished and it was a success, which is the best part. But the second part of that is that we, in the past, and I don't know how long it's been, maybe 10 years ago, that we actually had the alumni names of the award winners posted somewhere on the walls of the college. And when the renovation happened, they got taken down and they disappeared, which, you know, could be a bad thing, but I think the good thing is we have a better idea now of what we want and how we're going to do it. So Okay, Wendy is gonna work her magic on the keyboard, so you can see what the wall of alumni winners is going to look like. It'll be the wall, if you step outside the door on this side, it'll be the wall immediately to your right. And, this is kind of hard to tell, but it's really not, this, it's sort of asymmetrical. And I have this for anybody who wants to look at it after the meeting. But this will be on there telling you that it is the awards, and then each award will be on with the names of all the people that have won that award. The great thing about it is it's going to be a wall in the back with a piece of plexiglass that hangs over it. And the names will actually be on the plexiglass and can be added to. So every year as we get our new award winners, we'll slide the plexiglass out, add the names, slide it back in, so it will always be current. And we just, you know, for the first time in a long time, have a presence in the college for anybody that has won an award or knows somebody who's won that could come and look at the board and say, there I am, there's my name, or there's my friend that won that award. So we're pretty pleased that this is gonna happen. We just have to figure out how to pay for it, but we'll get it.
Carol, how big is the actual display? Is it gonna be
It's a
fairly,
wall.
is it
I
big,
mean,
like
you know
like
the
big?
donor wall? Do you know the donor wall outside?
It says it on the bottom of that sheet. I think it's
Sure.
4 feet by 8 feet to start or something.
Okay.
At the very bottom right.
9 by 8.
No.
Okay. So, yeah. It'll look somewhat similar to the donor wall.
Okay.
Any other questions?
What is the total cost of it?
We don't know yet. It just got finished being designed yesterday, so it's, we'll find out. But I don't think, I mean, several years ago, the board agreed that we would do it. Now we just have to figure out what.
And you were
it's gonna
volunteer
take
to
do it.
pay for that, right? From the other
I didn't say no.
Yeah. And Dean Bowen also, you know, said that Dean Reynolds would give us whatever.
Oh, use it. I like the Dean Bowman card. I like that.
Any other questions?
Carol. All right, so I know we have some refreshments and things outside, and now that this is supposed to be the time where I impart all kinds of wisdom and plans and goals for the next couple of years. But really, I thought about what I wanted to challenge everyone to do, to challenge the board, and to challenge the board to challenge others. And I came up with a couple things, but I know Wendy gets mad whenever I come up with just 2 things. So I came up with 3 things that.
3 things.
3 things. I'm not trying to make that cardinal mistake. So, and you'll be happy to know that one of which I've already accomplished in part. So, number 1, show up. And y'all already done that tonight. So, if you're the kind of person who shows up to 2 events, great. Thank you very much. Show up to 3. You know, you can come to 3, come to 4. If you can make 4, you can make 5. So we have great happy hours, we have great socials. We have lots of things that engage students and that bring people back here to the college and back to places where people who went to college run those places, or own those places, or whatever it is. But show up. It's important. That's what we're here for. We're here to connect people. We're here to stay together. We're only as strong as our alumni group is. Which brings me to part 2. Bring a friend. Some of y'all might say, "Well, I brought a friend tonight." Great. Bring 2. Say, "I brought 2." Bring 3. So that is what we need to do. We need to continue to build this thing up. I mean, we saw the alumni awards that we did that had 100 people there, and the room looked packed. It was great. It was great life in there. Why can't we have 150, 200 people this year? Continue to get it to be bigger and bigger. We have that many people who graduated here. Mike just told us how many people live in the city of Houston. I mean, this is the most social college that I've ever found on campus. So let's keep bringing people back here. And the third part is get involved. There's tons of opportunities to get involved. We have, we've got things like, of course, Hope that's coming up. We've got all the think tanks that come up whenever we have Hall of Honor that's coming up. So there are tons of opportunities to get involved. There are times where you can speak to a class, or times where you can host an event. So do one of those, or all 3 of those things, and that'll help us be successful over the next couple of years, 2 years. 3 years, right, Randy? 2. I know we hung around for 3. But so yeah.
I set the example.
Show up, bring a friend, and get involved. Before we go out there, I was going to see if Miguel would grab something for me, if I could get Randy to come back up here real quickly, because I did want to say thanks to Randy and probably Nancy too for giving Randy up for a few years. Randy has very selflessly done his part to be the president of this alumni board. He is an amazing person who cares so much about this college, and wanted to do something, albeit small, but figure after these 3 years,
My favorite thing, wine.
you probably needed a drink. So, so there you are, sir. Thank you, sir.
Ooh,
And if we don't
Nancy
have,
liked the basket.
you're not sharing the wine with Nancy?
Yeah, probably.
Development at the college. Mike has been talking about participation, getting engaged, bring a friend. I'd like to introduce Carter and Kathy Bliss back here, who are not alums of this college, but they attend darn near all of our monthly alumni student socials. They attend a variety of events at the college throughout the year, including Gourmet Night and Hall of Honor, and they're financial supporters of the college. And you talk about volunteerism and engagement. These two set the standard very high. I just want to acknowledge that in front of this group.
Is there anyone else? Any comments?
Real quick, just for us old timers, I spoke to Dr. Rapol today. He still doesn't know he's retired. So he's doing well. He and Miss Lee are going up to Chicago later this month to celebrate his mother-in-law's 96th birthday. And their youngest granddaughter is now 15 months, but he's doing well and said to wish everybody, just tell everybody hello. But it's the same old, you know. But I know a lot of people want to hear how he's doing, so he's doing great. But really, he doesn't know he's retired.
Thanks, Chad.
Anybody else? All right. It is 7 o'clock on the dot.
Beautiful.
We will release, go out, have some appetizers, some drinks, meet some people you don't know, right, Mike?
Amen, brother. Amen.
That's right. Go Cougs.
Good.